Welcome to Cozy Reading Club, the podcast where we read the book and tell you about it so you don't have to. So, last time in our deep dive, we kind of set the scene, didn't we?
We did. It was that moment of, well, potential peace. Almost.
Yeah, almost. We had that agreement, remember? For Menelaus and Paris to fight it out. Winner takes Helen, war over. Sounds simple.
Deceptively simple, maybe. And then Iris went to get Helen, brought her to the walls.
Right, so she could watch. And we got that great bit with Priam asking Helen about the Achaean heroes marching below. You know, Agamemnon, Odysseus.
Giving us that Trojan perspective.
Yeah.
And Helen's own thoughts, her sort of complicated feelings about it all.
Exactly. But that peace idea didn't last long.
Not at all. The gods got involved, specifically Athena.
Yeah, she convinced Pandarus, the Trojan archer, to take a shot at Menelaus.
Wounded him. Broke the truce, basically, right then and there.
Though Machaon, the healer, patched Menelaus up pretty quickly.
True, but the truce was shattered, so fighting starts up again.
And Agamemnon was really front and center, wasn't he? Getting the Greek troops fired up.
He was, which leads us right into today.
Yep. Today, we're diving into the rest of Book 4 and into Book 5 of the Iliad, where the battle really just explodes.
It really does. That glimmer of peace we saw, it vanishes incredibly fast in Book 4.
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it, about how fragile peace can be when there's so much history, so much bad blood.
Exactly. And the gods' interference, like Athena pushing Pandarus. It's like a spark on dry tinder, you know, just reigniting everything.
So thinking about Athena's role there, it kind of feels like that single combat idea was maybe doomed from the start.
Well, it raises that question, doesn't it? Were the underlying problems just too deep? The gods, or at least some of them, like Hera and Athena, they certainly didn't want peace with Troy.
Right. Their grudge was too strong.
It's like, even when humans try for a, let's say, rational solution, one fight settles it. All these other forces, these divine grudges, or maybe just deeper hatreds, they can just sweep it all away.
Makes you wonder how often that happens, you know? Logical plans getting derailed by stuff bubbling under the surface.
It's a recurring theme, I think, not just in epics.
Definitely. So, okay, fighting's back on. Agamemnon's going through the troops. What should we take away from how he leads there?
Well, his review of the forces, it's fascinating leadership in action.
Yeah.
Doesn't just give a general pep talk.
No, he's specific, isn't he?
Very. He praises some commanders, shores them up. But others, he gives them a really sharp critique if he thinks they're slacking or hesitant.
So he's adapting his style.
Exactly. He seems to understand, or tries to, what makes different warriors tick, how to motivate this guy versus that guy under massive pressure.
And Nestor's still there too, right? The wise old advisor.
Oh, absolutely. Nestor is crucial, even in his old age.
It's a good reminder that leadership isn't just about being the strongest guy on the field.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Nestor brings that strategic mind, experience. He can rally people with his words, his planning. He's indispensable.
And Agamemnon seems to respect that.
He does. Despite being the overall commander, Agamemnon listens to Nestor, values his input. That dynamic is pretty interesting.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Then we hit Book V, and wow, things really escalate.
Oh, yeah. Book V is where the intensity just ramps up hugely.
Yeah.
And Diomedes, he just takes over for a while.
He becomes this, force of nature on the battlefield. What's going on there? His Aristeia.
That's the term, yeah. His moment of supreme excellence in battle. It's classic, epic poetry, a hero hitting their absolute peak. And often, there's divine help involved.
Which there is here, isn't there? Athena gives him a boost.
She does. She gives him incredible strength and skill, but also something more, the ability to actually see the gods on the battlefield. And even to, fight them.
Which he does. He wounds Aphrodite when she tries to save Aeneas.
Stabs her in the wrist. She flees back to Olympus, complaining to her mother.
And then, even more incredibly, he goes after Ares, the actual god of war.
With Athena's help again, yeah.
Yeah.
She guides his spear, wounds Ares, who then also runs screaming off the battlefield. It's pretty astonishing.
It really is. What does that tell us? Mortals wounding gods.
Well, it really hammers home how intertwined the divine and human worlds are in the Iliad. The gods aren't just watching from afar.
No, they're right down in the thick of it, taking sides, getting hurt even.
Exactly. And Diomedes being able to wound them, even if it's temporary, it just shows the sheer intensity and the almost surreal chaos of this war. The normal rules, the boundaries between mortal and immortal, they seem to just blur.
Yeah, that makes sense. It elevates the stakes incredibly high.
Definitely.
But amidst Diomedes' rampage, we also see the Trojans pushing back, right? Hector starts to really emerge.
Yes, absolutely. As Diomedes is having his big moment, Hector steps up as the Trojans' main defender. He becomes that essential counterforce.
He represents something different, doesn't he?
He does. For the Trojans, he's everything. Courage, duty, commitment to his city, his family. Even when facing guys like Diomedes or when the gods are clearly helping the other side, Hector keeps fighting, keeps leading.
He provides that backbone for Troy.
He really does. That determination, even when things look bad, that's central to his character. He's heroic in a slightly different way than, say, Achilles or Diomedes.
So, wow. We've gone from a potential quick end to the war to a broken truce, gods getting directly involved, and these huge heroic clashes ramping up.
Precisely. Books 4 and V really throw us into the heart of the conflict. The truce breaking shows how deep the antagonism runs.
And the fighting that follows, especially Diomedes' actions and Hector's response, just sets the stage for, well, for even more intense battles to come.
Indeed. As Book V closes, you've got Diomedes, still empowered, having literally fought gods. You have Hector rallying the Trojans. You have Athena and Apollo actively manipulating things.
The battlefield is absolutely prime for more chaos, more heroism, more tragedy.
Exactly. The stakes just keep getting higher.
And that's where we'll leave our deep dive for today. Join us next time for more from the Iliad, right here on Cozy Reading Club. This was Cozy Reading Club, the podcast where we read the book and tell you about it so you don't have to. If you like this series, we invite you to take a look at other series in our podcast and leave a nice review on the platform you are listening this on.